Hall fakes a couple of times and then throws it back out. James with the basketball to Terrell. Looking inside to Hall again. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Cougars having a difficult time getting in, and Jackson slapped it away from Hall. Now here comes Hollifield. Shoots and scores. Tony's first two. The Redbirds have the lead again, 11-10. That's Hall. Hollifield will drop off of him. Goes to Thornton. Now back to Hall. Crawford had it blocked by Jackson, but he'll be called for the foul. Boy, the crowd wanted a walking call.
Replacing Randy Blair. Redbird foul was on 43. Ricky Jackson, his first. Fourth team foul and two shot foul.
11 minutes and 10 seconds, or rather 11 to 10 to score. Just under 9 minutes to go in the first half. Laurent Crawford is at the free throw line. Crawford averages about 14 points a game. And he is way below on that one. He has 0 points so far. A 7-foot junior. The first 7-footer in Chicago State history, I might add. Crawford gets his first point. It is tied 11-all. Cougars will trap three-quarter court press, and that's what they're looking to do now. Harris with the basketball. Drives, shoots, and scores. Harris with 7. Drove on the 7-footer and put it down. Put the Redbirds on top 13-11. He has 7 of the 13 points. Hall. Now to Thornton. Moving left. Goes to Terrell. Now back to Hall. Into the lane. Gives it out to Terrell. Nowhere to go with it, but it skipped past to Thornton at the top of the key. Boy, for a bunch of good athletes on this team, they don't go over the top much. Nice bounce pass to Crawford inside. Double team. Shoots, doesn't get it. Gets his own rebound. Little hook, and he scores.
Rebound basket by number 5, Laurent
Crawford now has 3 points. Game is knotted up at 13-all again. 8 minutes to go. Inside is Coleman. Fakes. Gives it to Hollifield. He had it blocked. Tony goes strong to the bucket that time as he got fouled inside, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Foul on number 5, Laurent Crawford, his
They
first.
give it to Crawford, his first foul. Team foul number 3. As you see the big 7-footer there to the left of your screen. Game tied at 13-all. Tony Hollifield to the free throw line. Hollifield is 14 out of 24 coming into the game from there, and he missed his first. So far, Tony with 2 points all the night, and he missed the second. 7:50 to go. Still 13-all. And I might add a very quick first half. Game moving along. Stolen by Hollifield. Hollifield with Thornton chasing him. Shoots and doesn't get it. Out of bounds, and a foul is going to be called on Coleman. Coleman with his second foul. And Sonny Roberts up off the bench to come back in.
Foul at 52, Gerard Coleman, his second. 15 foul on the Redbirds as 44, Sonny Roberts.
Roberts comes in for Jeff Harris.
He replaces Jeff Harris.
7 minutes, 35 seconds to go. Game is still tied at 13. We're in the first half. James jumper by himself. Does not get it. Rebound Coleman. Well, that's nice to see. 2 guys from the Redbirds went after it. Roberts. Now to Peterson. Back to Roberts. Jackson. Redbirds working it around the outside. They're looking for the perimeter, and then they punch it back inside. Having trouble getting it in there so far tonight. Jackson will shoot from the outside. Doesn't go. Rebound James. 6 minutes, 56 seconds to go. Thornton with the basketball. Another trip down court. Still tied. Thornton to Crawford. Jumps it up. Scores.
Loren Crawford.
He has 5. Now Peterson, he'll jump it up, gets one.
Basket by Cliff Peterson.
Peterson with his first basket and his 4th points. Game is tied again at 15 this time. 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Terrell. James. Thornton gives it off to Crawford, shoots and doesn't get it, and he's called for charging. Or, excuse me, that is Hall. Rodney Hall with his first personal.
Player control foul on number 44, Rodney
His
Hall.
second personal.
That's his first and a 14th.
No, they do count it as his first. 6 minutes to go. Game tied at 15-all. Redbirds have a chance to take the lead again. Coleman, pass to Peterson. He'll jump it up again. Doesn't get it, and Crawford goes above the rim for it. Game tied up, 5.5 minutes to go. James with the basketball. Drives on Roberts. Gives it out to Thornton. Long jumper doesn't go, and Coleman has it, or Peterson has it knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. It'll belong to the Redbirds. Five minutes, 27 seconds. And we have Jeff Harris back into the lineup. He replaces Ricky Jackson.
Returns for the Redbirds, replacing Ricky Jackson.
Also, Willie James into the lineup for Chicago State, replaces Rodney Hall. Harris to Roberts. Hollifield, one dribble, fakes the shot, shoots, doesn't get it. Rebound, fought for by 3 Redbirds, and finally picked off by Hollifield. And they'll reset the shot clock. Roberts to the free throw line. Now to Harris. Right through Coleman's hands. 4:45 on the clock. John Pemberton will get up to come back in, or come in for the first time tonight. James with the basketball. Lob pass inside to Crawford, and Roberts fouled, but I believe they gave that to Sonny. He really clumped them one.
44, Sonny Roberts, his first.
Sonny's first.
Foul.
6 now on the Redbirds. Crawford goes to the free throw line.
Number 5, Red Crawford on the line for Chicago State. 2 shots.
He'll have 2 coming his way. He fouled in the act of shooting. That's his first one.
25, Randy Blair back.
He now has 6 points.
He replaces Sonny Roberts.
Sonny Roberts will sit. Crawford so far from the free throw line this year, 20 out of 38 coming into the game, and he hits 2 in a row. He now has 7 points, 4.5 minutes to go. Redbirds trail by 2, 17-15. Randy Blair back in the lineup for Sonny Roberts. Jeff Harris with the basketball to Peterson. John Pemberton into the lineup. Peterson had Pemberton baseline, now gives it to him. Peterson, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Inside, Hollifield shoots and gets it, and he's fouled. Hollifield with 4 points.
Fouls on number 5, the Red
They get
Crawford,
the
his
foul to
second.
Crawford, his second.
Foul 5, and Hollifield shoots 1.
Crawford came into the game with somewhat of a reputation for getting into foul trouble. In the 7 games they've played so far, he has 21 personal foul, has never fouled out of the game. Hollifield missed the free throw, so with less than 4 minutes to go, the game is still tied up at 17-all. Very low-scoring game so far. Lob pass inside, and it went beautifully to Willie James.
Number 20, Willie James.
It is 19-17. Redbirds trail. Randy Blair with the basketball to John Pemberton. Now out to Harris. Now to Blair, to Harris. Fakes the shot. Randy Blair inside. Hollifield fakes, shoots, and scores. Hollifield with 6. Game tied and 19 all. James goes to Thornton. Finally skips it around to James. Now to Terrell. Tries to penetrate. Gives it to James. Now Crawford. Pemberton on him. Crawford shoots over him. Doesn't go. Tipped up by James and scores. And both of James' baskets have been somewhat on the flamboyant side. That was a reverse tip. Redbirds again trail by 2. 21-19. Ricky Jackson up off the bench to come back in. Inside Hollifield. Shoots and scores. Nice feed from Jeff Harris to Tony Hollifield. Hollifield has 8. 2:25 on the clock. Stanley Jones to Terrell. Now to Crawford. Lob underneath and knocked away by Hollifield. And then Harris tried to save it in bounds. And just as he did, he ran into James.
For Illinois State. Number 44, Rodney Hall, returns for Chicago State.
And the ball will belong to the Cougars. Jackson back into the lineup, replaces Hollifield. Rodney Hull comes in and replaces Laurent Crawford for Chicago State. Hull, skip pass, other side, James. Now to Hull. Takes the shot call for traveling. Boy, is he quick. 4 turnovers now for Chicago State. Against 4 for the Redbirds, even in that department, even on the scoreboard inside of 2 minutes. Game tied at 21 all. Harris to Jackson. Back to Harris to Blair. Harris, he'll take the three-pointer. Good. Jeff with 10 points. That's his second three-pointer. Redbirds go up by 3. 24-21, minute and a half to go. Thornton on the baseline drive. Over Pemberton, doesn't get it. Tipped up and scores by Stanley Jones. That one also a little on the odd side from a tipping standpoint. They look like they're just trying to put it into play and they get it down. Jackson. Skip pass to Harris. Now to Blair. To Jackson to Blair. Inside intended for Pemberton. Knocked away. Goes to Coleman. Coleman has it knocked out of his hands out of bounds with 25 seconds on the shot clock. Redbirds lead 24-23. 1 minute and 6 seconds left to go in the first half. Jackson on the wing. Intended baseline for Coleman, knocked out of bounds.
We'll give you the numbers in the halftime shootout. The Denison Ford halftime shootout.
Exactly 1 minute showing on the clock as you see Tommy Suits for Chicago State just sitting down on the bench. Blair looking for Coleman. Finally gets a baseline to him. Coleman fakes twice, fakes again, shoots and scores. With 40 seconds to go, Redbirds by 3, and Terrell holds his finger up saying 1 shot. So the Cougars go for just 1. Thornton to Hull. 29 seconds now. Hull. Stolen by Blair. Blair on the break. Moving on Thornton. Shoots and gets it. Excellent anticipation for Randy's first 2 points. And he made that on the defensive end of the court, as the Redbirds so often do. Hull. 8 seconds to go. Into the lane. Goes out to James. Shoots over Jackson and doesn't get it. Rebound Coleman with 1 second to go. And the first half comes to a close. There might have been a whistle on the rebound, just as the buzzer went.
The foul is called on number 20, Willie James of Chicago State.
Foul was called on Willie James of Chicago State.
Foul, so it's no shot. The time went off the clock and the half ends. Illinois State 28, Chicago State 23.
Well, there you hear Steve Adams' explanation of it all. There will be no shot, and the half ends at 28-23. Well, things definitely picked up in the late goings of the first half after the Redbirds must have gone 6 minutes, or close to that, maybe even a little more before they scored a field goal. 28-23. We'll take a break and come right back. You're watching Redbird basketball on Telecable. To those in front of you, why don't you go over just a few of those for us?
We'll take a look at some of the points. Harris leading for the Redbirds at the halftime point. Of course, 2 3-pointers for Jeff so far. 8 points thus far for Tony Hollifield. Looking real good and tough on the inside so far. 4 points for both Gerard Coleman and Cliff Peterson at this point. Looking at Chicago State, Al, you were talking earlier about Laurent Crawford early on in the game not really playing up to his potential. Well, he's already got his 7 of his 14 average halfway through, so he got going a little bit there toward the end of the first stanza. 4 points for Willie James. He didn't start but came off the bench. Didn't play too badly. Rodney Hall, 2 points. 3 points for both Terrell and Thornton, and 4 points for Stanley Jones.
All right, thank you, Jay. But here's some really interesting things that I saw in here. 22 rebounds in the first half for the Cougars out of Chicago State. And those 22 rebounds outnumbered Illinois State's 13. And there you see head coach Bob Johnawald shaking his head no. He might have been reading the same thing I was just reading to you. That is not a very promising statistic. 22-13 in the rebounding lead does not look very good. And I'm sure that that's one of the things they talked about at halftime. We're going to take a break, but first Jay has an announcement for us on some of the things we can find coming up on Telecable this week.
Okay, Al. Lewis Gossett Jr. and Jason Gedrick star in Iron Eagle, where a teenager enlists an Air Force flying ace to accompany him on an air raid against a Middle Eastern country to rescue his father. See Iron Eagle on HBO this Thursday, December 17th at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Jay. 28-23 at halftime. We'll be back in a minute right after this timeout. 28-23 as we are just about ready to start the second half. The Redbirds on top by 5. Redbirds looking to go 2-3 on the season, and at the same time make the Cougars out of Chicago State 2-6. The Cougars have faced some mighty tough competition, though, as you see Coach Tommy Suits trying to figure out how to turn this team around in this basketball game. Some of the preseason games the Cougars face, why I call them preseason, they are an independent, but they must have one of the toughest independent schedules around. They lost to Arkansas by 10, 78-68. Lost to Illinois, 86-57. Lost to Pittsburgh, 89-63, and lost to Brigham Young, 91-60. Coming up for Illinois State later on this season, U of I Chicago will be December 19th. That's Saturday here at Horton Fieldhouse. That game will be tape delay on Telecable. That is an afternoon game. We'll show it back that night at 7:30, and then again the following Monday night at 8:30. We'll talk about more of those games a little bit later. Cougars have the basketball as the second half gets underway. The Redbirds lead 28-23. As we mentioned, Jeff Harris led all scorers in the first half with 10 points on the strength of 5 field goals, 2 of which were 3-pointers. Terrell with the basketball to Thornton. Now they go to James. Down low to Hall. Outside to Terrell, back to Hall. Over Hollifield, doesn't go. Rebound Peterson, and Crawford fight for it. They finally call jump ball.
Held ball, Illinois State's possession.
And it'll be Illinois State basketball. Hollifield shrugging the old shoulder as if he'd done something to it. Redbirds have the basketball and the 5-point lead. Cougars drop back into a 2-3 zone. See if the Redbirds attack it any differently than they did the first half. Inside is Coleman. Back outside to Harris and stolen away by Terrell. He has a fast break. Lays it up and scores.
Basket by number 12, Terrell.
Terrell now has 5 points. He had a 3-pointer in the first half. 28-25 at the 19-minute mark. Into the corner. Hollifield back to Blair. Now to Peterson, to Blair. To Peterson. Back to Blair. Pulls up a little bit of the slack. Goes Coleman. Jumper. Good. Coleman now at 6. That's his first 2 this half. Redbirds go back to their largest margin of 5. Rodney Hall to Thornton. Now to James, then to Terrell. Stolen away by Blair. Blair on the break. Lays it up in his foul. Looks like Thornton will be called for the foul, obviously. That is his first personal, first team foul this half.
That's his first team foul of the half against the Cougars. 25, Randy Blair at the line.
Redbirds had 5 steals in the first half. One of those was by Blair, so he came up with his second steal. He does have 2 free throws coming his way, and he gets the first one down. Blair now with 3 points. Randy 3 for 5 coming into the game from the charity stripe. Knocks both of them down, and he now has 4, and the Redbirds go up by 7, their largest margin tonight, 32-25. Hall with the basketball. Rodney Hall. Crowd wanted walk. Terrell, little hook, and he scores.
By number 12.
Terrell with 4 points this half. All 4 for the Cougars. Peterson to Blair. Now to Coleman. Harris. Looking inside to Hollifield. He scoots, shoots, doesn't get it. Foul is going to be called on Crawford. Crawford with that all too familiar grimace by a player when he doesn't think he fouled somebody.
Number 5, Loren Crawford, his
third foul on Crawford. Team foul number 2 on the Cougars, and into the ball game will come Stanley Jones, as Crawford will sit down in foul trouble. As we told you before, he came into the game with a reputation of getting into foul trouble. Looks like he is maintaining at least that part of the reputation. Coleman from Blair, really nowhere to go with that. Randy has the jumper, will take it, and doesn't hit it. Fought for and finally picked up after Coleman, or rather after Hollifield got a hand on it, and Randy Bear comes up with it. Drives inside and had it knocked away. Randy had the right idea, did not get it executed though. Randy has the quickness and the smarts to recognize those situations. Sometimes a little bit difficult to unload from the psyche standpoint. Harris to Coleman. Now to Harris. Peterson to Blair. What I mean by that, sometimes just a little bit timid when it comes in the shooting department. Coleman fakes. Now he had it knocked away and picked up by Hollifield. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Blair. Inside nicely. Hollifield lays it up and scores. Hollifield, his first 2 this half. He has 10 all the night. There you see the senior for Illinois State. Puts the Redbirds up by 7 again, 34-27. Hall with the basketball. Down low. Lays it up and scores, and a blocking foul called on Hollifield. Stanley Jones with the basket, his first 2. Hollifield with a foul, his first. Team foul number 1 also, by the way.
45, Tony Hollifield, his first. Team foul 1 of the half on the Redbirds. Stanley Jones shoots 1.
Jones goes to the free throw line for the possible 3-point play. Going into this basketball game, he was 8 out of 4 from the charity stripe. The lefty barely draws iron, and Tony Hollifield takes it on a bounce and gives it off to Randy Blair. 34-29, Redbirds by 5. Blair tries to split this team, then to Peterson, jumper good. Randy Blair created that field goal when he did take up some of that slack, pulled the defense in a little bit, and then dished it off to Peterson. Peterson now with 6 points, 4 from the field. Stolen by Hollifield. Hollifield on the drive. And he ended up throwing it away. Tony looked like he got bumped a little bit, but then lost his balance, tried to dish it off to somebody, and he ended up throwing it out of bounds. I thought he had a shot at handing it off to Randy Blair coming up the middle. And Chicago State Cougars want a timeout. 16:08 on the clock. The score, Redbirds 36, Chicago State 29. We'll be back in a minute. You're watching Telecable Redbird basketball. 36-29, Redbirds lead here the second half with 16 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the basketball game. Coming up this weekend on Telecable or on Thursday and Friday. Jay, why don't you read one of those for us?
Okay, let's see. For a Thursday or Friday, well, don't miss Teleview on Friday, December 18th at 6:30 p.m. when we'll hear from someone who researches and writes family histories for people in Bloomington Normal. Tune in to Teleview every Tuesday through Friday at 6:30 on Telecable Channel 10. Yep.
Thank you. 36-29. Redbirds by 7. That has been their largest lead. They led 28-23 at halftime. Thornton with the basketball. Trying to penetrate inside. Goes back out to James. James to Terrell. Inside of 16 to go in the basketball game. Now to James. To Thornton. Fakes the shot. Inside. Rebound comes off to Jones. He scores.
Rebound basket by 32, Stanley Jones.
36-31. Redbirds not a very good rebounding team so far tonight on the defensive end. Shot by Peterson. Gets the roll.
Peterson.
In the first half, Chicago State had 9 offensive rebounds. Way too many. Redbirds now by 7 again. And a foul called on the play. It looks like it's going to be on Randy Blair. Randy now has his first personal foul.
On 25, Randy Blair, his first. Second team foul on the Redbirds. 43, Ricky Jackson.
Redbirds shooting has picked up just a little bit. We're shooting 44 at halftime, Jay. What are they shooting now?
Well, they're shooting 484 right now, but look at the rebounds. Still 24 rebounds for Chicago State to 16 for the Birds.
Coleman with the block. Thornton picks it up. Dishes it inside, and the score goes to James.
Number 20, Willie James.
James now at 6, and the lead is cut to 5 again, 38-33. Ricky Jackson is the ball game. That's Peterson. He replaced Randy Blair. Ricky Jackson did. Now Harris to Peterson. Looking inside, nowhere to go with it. Now goes to Harris to Jackson. Down low, intended for Coleman, but kicked out of bounds. It'll be Chicago State basketball. $14 minutes, 43 seconds to go. Harris will trigger the inbounds pass. Goes to Jackson. Pulls up the slack. Makes the shot. Goes to Peterson. His jumper. Good. Cliff has 6 points this half, and he has 10 points all the night. 40-33. That is the third Redbird in double figures. Harrison Hollowfield preceded him. Thornton with the basketball. Jumper, free throw line. Doesn't go. Peterson rebounds. He'll bring it up himself. Now he gives it to Jackson. To Peterson. Feels it again. Jumper doesn't go. That might have been just a little too quick for Bob Donewald's sake. 40-33, layup by James is good. James has 8 for this half. The Redbirds had the lead trimmed again to 40-35. And judging from the way head coach Bob Donewald was looking at Cliff Peterson, I would say that he did not like that shot at all. Jumper by Harris, three-point range doesn't go. And Coleman could not hang on to the rebound. That's James with the basketball. Redbirds lead by 5. Thornton. Terrell, three-point range, good. Terrell now. 2 3-pointers, has 10 points. And the lead is cut to 2. It was 7. Jackson's jumper, good.
Ricky Jackson.
Jackson scores his first 2. The lead back up to 4. 13:05 to go in the basketball game. Lead was 7. Thornton on the drive. Doesn't get it, and a foul called inside. He's going to be called for charging.
53, John Pemberton in for Illinois State.
Thornton with the foul. I have him for 2.
Number 21, Michael Higgins.
Both of those this half.
last foul was charged to number 22, Maurice Thornton.
That is team foul number 3 on the Cougars this half.
Team foul on the Cougars.
42-38, Redbirds by 4, led by as many as 7. Inside of 13 minutes to go. Try to get it to Coleman. Jackson tries to pick up the loose ball, and they vie for it. And the turnover
Ball, Chicago State
will go to Chicago State. (42-38). Redbirds by 4. 12.5 minutes to go. Down low. Shot is good by Jones. Jones 10 all the night. 6 in this half. And the Redbirds lead by 2, 42-40. John Pemberton back in the lineup. He replaces Tony Hollifield. Ricky Jackson to Jeff Harris. Now Jackson to Peterson. Jackson. Peterson. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Jackson to Harris. Back out to Jackson. Redbirds being patient. 3-point range and good by Harris. Harris with his third 3-pointer, and he has 13 on the night. Redbirds back by 5 at 45-40. 11:45 to go in the game. Thornton. Into the lane. Dishes off. Terrell jumper. Doesn't go. Rebound Jones and knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. Stanley Jones wanted a foul on that. Tony Hollifield back in the lineup. He comes in for John Pemberton. And Chicago State wants a timeout with 11 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the game. Redbirds lead by 5 at 45-40. We'll be back in a minute. You're watching Telecable Redbird Basketball.
You own a wagon.
45-40 is the score in the second half with 11 minutes and 35 seconds showing on the clock. Jay, what else we have coming up?
Al, Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short star as actors actually attempting to save the Mexican city of Santa Poco from actual banditos. Be sure to see The Three Amigos on Cinemax Thursday, December 17th at 10 p.m. Al?
Thank you very much. 45-40, and a reminder that this is the first of 7 telecasts here on Telecable Channel 10 of Redbird Basketball. The next one will be coming up on Saturday as U of I Chicago comes into town. The Redbirds play them at Saturday at 2:30 in the afternoon. Will be tape delay 7:30 that night. Cougars have the basketball but trail by 5. 11:31. It was a 5-point lead by the Redbirds at halftime. Redbirds play a traditional man-to-man, traditional for them. Actually, it's a man-to-man at times, a zone principle. Inside is James. His jumper doesn't go, but he gets his own rebound as he goes high in the air, gives it off the hole, and he tried to step it but missed it. James comes up with the rebound. Attempted to go inside. Hall comes up with the loose basketball. Out to Thornton. Thornton inside, lays it up, scores.
Basket by 22, Maurice Thornton. 45-42. Thornton now has 4, ranked at 5 points. 4 from the field. 10 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Hollifield to Jackson. Now Peterson. Jackson. Harris. He is shadowed by James. It looks like a box and one, as a matter of fact. To Peterson. His jumper short. Rebound comes off to Terrell, Chicago State. And the Redbirds lead by only 3 now at 45-42. Terrell outside. He has a couple of 3-pointers tonight. You do have to get on him out there. 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the ballgame. Hall to Thornton. Now we're at exactly 10 minutes to go. 15 seconds on the shot clock. The Chicago State being patient. Lob inside, and Harris will be called for the foul. The bucket goes by Stanley Jones. And Harris comes up with his second foul. First this half, and team foul number 3 in the Redbirds. And the Cougars can tie it up. Take a look at some of those stats again here at the second half, Jay.
Okay, Redbirds not doing bad from the floor at all. 5:14 as to 4:36 for Chicago State. Still getting killed on the rebounds by 12, 29-17 thus far. Turnovers 14 for Chicago State, 8 for the Birds.
Giving the Cougars that second shot has proved to be fatal on a number of occasions, and that is one of them. Hall with the rebound to Thornton. Chicago State had a chance to tie, but did not take that chance, or did not make it good. Hall with the basketball. Redbirds with 9.5 minutes to go. Lead by 1. Terrell is inside. Jumper good. And he puts the Cougars on top at 45-46. 9:15 to go. First time in a long time the Cougars have had the lead. Blair came back in for Jackson. That's him with the basketball. Goes to Peterson. Now to Blair, then to Harris. Now to Hollifield. He gets cut off, called for a block on Hall. Hall's second foul, team foul number 4 on the Cougars. Non-shooting foul, the Redbirds will throw the ball out of bounds, or throw the ball inbounds. From out of bounds. It comes inbounds to Blair. To Peterson. Looking for Harris. Jumper from three-point range. Good. Harris with 4 3-pointers. Has 16 points and puts the Redbirds up by 4 at 48-46. 8.5 minutes to go. Hall from the wing. It doesn't go. Rebound. Fought for and picked off by Randy Blair. That's the kind of hustle the Redbirds need. Inside is Hollifield. Fakes one, shoots, and scores. Hollifield with 12 points, and he has 4 this half. 50-46. Redbirds by 4. Randy Blair to Peterson. Out of Blair. Roberts up off the bench will be coming in the next opportunity. 7 minutes, 45 seconds to go. Coleman. Jumper, free throw line, doesn't go. Thornton will rebound. Terrell on the wing. 7.5 minutes now left. Redbirds by 4. Led by as much as 7. Led by 5 at halftime. Terrell. Thornton swings it to James. Make that, yes, that is James. That's Hall. And a timeout called.
Timeout, Chicago State.
7 minutes, 13 seconds left to go. The score, Redbirds 50, Chicago State 46. We'll be back in a minute. You're watching Telecable Redbird Basketball. Minutes and 13 seconds showing on the clock. Redbirds by 4, 50-46. Let's talk very briefly about that first game you see up there, December 19th, here at Horton Fieldhouse, a 2:30 in the afternoon basketball game. That game will be tape delayed on Telecable. 2:30 is the tape time, but we will air it at 7:30 that night, and then again Monday night at 8:30. Jay Groves sits at my side, the TV10 News Director, and he has some more to tell us about some of the things you can see on Telecable, namely TV10 News.
Well, Al, if you're tired of tuning into Peoria or Champaign for the once-over lightly of Twin City television news, then switch to TV10 News, weeknights at 6. It's the Twin Cities' only local television news service. Only on Telecable, Channel 10. Yep.
50-46, Redbirds by 4. Chicago State has the basketball. 7 minutes, 13 seconds on the clock. And And the Redbirds will get the turnover. As it went off of Hall's hands and out of bounds. And right past my ear on my man. Crawford comes back in for the first time in a long time, and Hall will sit down. Laurent Crawford, the highest scoring member of the Chicago State Cougars, averages 14 points a game. Harris from outside, 2-point range, doesn't even draw iron. The rebound comes off to Jones, and he gives it to Terrell. Thornton with the basketball. Now to James. Then to Jones. Rather Jones to James. That's Jones. And that's James. Thornton. 6.5 minutes to go. How's the shooting coming now? Redbirds have cooled off just a little bit.
It's a lucky thing, though, that they're ahead in shooting percentage over Chicago State, because the rebounds, the Cougars have almost doubled the Birds.
34-18 in rebounds. Chicago State has a considerable edge.
15 foul on the Cougars.
While we were talking about the stats, Crawford got his 4th foul, and he just came back into the ballgame. Harris with the basketball. Down low is Hollifield. He gets triple teamed. Harris to Blair, swings it to Peterson, and then a foul called this time inside. Looks like it's going to be on Stanley Jones. Hollifield was being held.
Stanley Jones, his 4th.
He now has 4.
Foul on Chicago State.
5 team fouls on the Cougars.
Rodney Hall.
6 minutes and 5 seconds showing on the clock. Inbounds pass to Blair. Sonny Roberts back into the lineup. Coleman will sit down. Blair penetrates, jukes with it, fakes once, Roberts tips and scores. Sonny Roberts comes up with his first bucket, and it's a big one. The Redbirds back by 6, 52-46. 5:40 to go in the game. Hall with the basketball at the baseline. Nowhere to go with it but outside to Thornton. And a foul this time called on Sonny Roberts inside. Sonny is second foul. Team foul number 4 this half.
The 4th team foul on the Redbirds.
Non-shooting foul. The Cougars will take it out of bounds underneath their own basket. Inbounds pass to Hall. Thornton now to Hall. Outside to James, then to Hall. Cougars being patient with it. Hall to James, skip pass to Terrell. Redbirds playing a very good defense at this point. To Hall. Back to James, then to Thornton. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hall at the baseline. Takes the shot. Inside, Terrell's turnaround. Doesn't go. Rebound comes off to Jones. Jones with the score.
Basket by 32, Stanley Jones.
Well, the crowd wanted a foul called in there, but there you see Jones with his 14th point. Redbirds by 4 again, 52-45. Randy Blair with the basketball. Now to Peterson. Wanting to go inside, nobody there. Now to Blair. Harris fakes it. Goes to Peterson. Now to Blair. Randy bank shot, doesn't go. Rebound comes off to Robertson, then off his hands and out of bounds. But it looks like they're going to give it to the Redbirds. I thought Sonny might have touched that. Redbirds get the basketball back and a new 45 seconds on the clock. Inbounds pass to Blair. Now to Harris. Almost lost it away, and it goes out of bounds, and it belongs to the Redbirds again. .38 seconds on the shot clock. We're now down to 4 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Redbirds lead 52-45. Roberts to Randy Blair. Now to Peterson. Redbirds have not been very successful to get it inside. Roberts fakes, has it knocked out of his hands, and then they call a jump ball. It'll be Redbird the basketball. .45 seconds on the clock. So the next possession, Hollifield on the tip. Hollifield with 14, and you give the assist to Jeff Harris. 54-48, big bucket. Redbirds by 6 in a steal. And it goes back over to the Cougars, but out of bounds, and the Redbirds have the basketball. And Coach Donewald gets up and starts clapping. He likes that kind of effort. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Redbirds by 6, 54-48. And you see Tommy Seuss talking it over, one of his assistants. Trying to figure out what to do next. Redbirds to Roberts. Turnaround jumper. Good! Sonny Roberts with 2 in a row as the Redbirds have taken a 56-48 lead. And the Cougars won a timeout. 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. We'll be back in a minute. You're watching Redbird basketball. May not be the largest crowd, but it's boisterous at this point. Seeing a pretty good ball game from a closeness standpoint. I don't think the Redbirds have played their best game of the year here tonight, but still have been putting out the effort to get the job done and hold a 56-48 lead, the largest lead here in the ball game. And led by 7 a few times before, led by 5 at halftime, 28-23. Cougars had come back to take a 46-45 lead with 9:20 to go in the game. When the Redbirds put the brakes on them on defense, they ended up getting a little hotter on offense to take that 8-point lead. Sonny Roberts has hit 2 in a row to give them the big lead. Inbounds pass, tipped away by Peterson. Hustles for it, lays it up and scores! What an effort! Cliff Peterson puts the Redbirds up by 10, 58-48. And Chicago State wants another timeout. 21 seconds later, 3 minutes left in the go in the game, 58-48. Jay, we have some new stats.
Birds are coming back with some rebounds, and that's showing their scrappy play in the last few minutes, particularly on the inside against Chicago State. They've got 20 boards now. Chicago State, 18 turnovers so far this game to 8 for the Birds, and field percentage is about the same as at the last time out. 5-10 for the Birds, 447 for Chicago State.
Turnovers have been the big bugaboo for the Redbirds, or for Chicago State, I should say. 18-8 in that category. And the Redbirds now again have the largest lead in the basketball game at 58-48. And boy, just some tremendous hustle here in the last minute and a half or so. And it's probably proof of the pudding that what hustle can give you if you don't have as good athletes as maybe the other team does. And I think that might be the case here tonight. Chicago State full of some very good athletes. Matter of fact, you won't see too many better athletes, but I guess if you put them up against a Purdue, you see quite a bit of difference as well. 3 minutes exactly to go in a basketball game. Redbirds have a 58-48 lead. Redbirds will go with the people who have been in there, except for Harris will sit down. Certainly Ricky Jackson, Randy Blair at the guard positions. Tony Hollifield, Sonny Robertson, Cliff Peterson on the front line. Cougars basketball after calling another timeout. Inside of 3 minutes to go. Thornton now, guarded by Blair. Now to James. To Thornton. Looking for Hole down low. Instead goes in the lane. Knocked out of bounds and saved by Hollifield to Randy Blair. Tony Hollifield for some hustle. That was created by Peterson's defense. Chicago State brings the defense out. Looking to trap, I believe, when they get the shot at it. Now it goes to Jackson. Can't pick up the dribble too soon. Got to get rid of it sometime. Saves it, but it goes to Thornton, and Randy Blair called for the foul.
Foul on 25, Randy Blair, his second. Team foul 5 on the Redbirds.
That is Randy Blair's second foul. And as a matter of fact, as Jay Groves just pointed out to me, no Redbirds really in foul problems. Nobody has more than 2. 2 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Peterson guarding James. Now it goes to Hall. To Terrell. Drives inside, lays it up, and scores.
Basket by number 12, Ken Terrell.
58-50 and a foul called. This one is on Terrell, his first. And Ricky Jackson will march to the other end and go to the free throw line for a 1-on-1 bonus.
17 foul puts Chicago State over the limit. It's 1-and-1.
Ricky Jackson will be going to the free throw line.
Ricky Jackson to the line. 1-and bonus.
Jackson has been there. Well, this is his first trip this year to the free throw line. And he misses the bonus. Hollifield rebounds. And the Redbirds get new life. Inside is Hollifield. Shoots and doesn't get it, but he's fouled. Hall may be the rebound. May have made the foul, I should say.
Foul is on 44, Rodney Hall.
It is Rodney Hall. They have him for 2 fouls.
Hollifield, 2 shots.
Tony Hollifield to the free throw line. 2 shots, and he makes the first. Second one doesn't go. But for rebound outside to Randy Blair, and they'll call a foul. Inside, I believe, on Tony Hollifield as he tried to poke it away.
Foul on 45, Tony Hollifield, his second.
Tony's second foul. Both came this half. 1 minute and 47 seconds to go. Redbirds by 9, 59-50.
Both teams are now in the bonus.
That's James with the basketball. Cut off by Roberts. Shot doesn't go. Peterson tries to rebound, and finally Hollifield picks it up. Gets it out to Ricky Jackson as Hollifield. That should be a 2-shot foul. That should be an intentional foul. No, they give him the bonus. Rodney Hall with his third foul. And I say that because they simply hit Ricky Jackson on the shoulders and the upper arms, which meant to me they weren't really going for the basketball. They're looking to stop the clock. Jackson has a 1-on-1 bonus. 0 for 1 this season from the free throw line, and he gets his first one down. He has 3 points. The Redbirds have a 10-point lead again. It's 60-50. Boy, the crowd got quiet for this one. Second one, good. Redbirds with the largest lead, 61-50. Minute 25 to go in the basketball game. James to Terrell, partially blocked, picked up inside and scores with Janley Jones getting 16 points now. Jackson is fouled again. And this time, it's on James, his first.
On number 20, Willie James, that's his second.
For his second. Jackson goes back to the free throw line. After missing his first, he's gone back for 2 in a row. He has 4 points tonight. 1-on-1 bonus. Three in a row now for Ricky. Redbirds by 10 again, 62-52. Higgins into the lineup. James will sit down.
Higgins back in, replacing Willie James for Chicago State.
Minute and 12 seconds to go. second one is good. Redbirds by 11 again. Thornton on the drive, lays it up.
Basket by Maurice Thornton, 22.
Thornton now with 7. And Hall will be called for the foul. 1:01 to go.
Foul is on 44, Rodney Hall, his 4th. 1 and bonus. Cliff Peterson at the line for the Redbirds.
Now Cliff Peterson will go to the free throw line. Cliff with 10 points tonight. Drills his first one.
Bonus.
I have him for 12 points. Now that's 13. 10 from the field and 3 from the free throw line. Missed his second one. Inside of a minute now. Redbirds by 10. Thornton threw it out of bounds. Looking for Hall underneath. Jeff Harris back into the lineup.
Jeff Harris.
He replaces Sonny Roberts.
Sonny Roberts.
Sonny gets an appreciative hand from the crowd. He leads with 4 points, but they were big ones. Inbounds pass to Peterson. He'll bring it up himself. Peterson on the run, gets hacked from behind by Thornton. He has 3.
On 22, Maurice Thornton, his 3rd.
Now Peterson, 1 for 2 from the free throw line in the game.
Peterson at the line.
I should say in this half. And 3 out of 4 for the game has the bonus facing him again, and he hits the first.
Bonus shot.
Redbirds by 11 can now go up by 12, which would be their largest lead and is. 45 seconds left on the clock. Redbirds by 12. Peterson with a steal. And they'll give the basketball to Chicago State. A little bit of silence that time because we were trying to find the basketball underneath our chairs. Tony Hollifield sits down, replaced by John Pemberton. Tony sits down with 15 points. And Cliff Peterson will also sit down. As Derek Stokes comes into the ball game for the first time tonight. Matter of fact, first time in his ISU career. And he comes off with a rebound. I'll tell you one thing about Stokes. He's a walk-on, came here at a football scholarship, has probably the best pair of hands on any player for the ISU basketball team.
Fouls on 35, Derek Stokes, his first.
And also comes up with his first.
Fouls on the Redbirds, it's 1 and bonus.
I used to do that in high school too. I'd get in the last minute, made sure I fouled somebody so a name would get in the paper.
He's got a stat in it.
Definitely his name will be in the paper and he goes out of the lineup. No, he's not. He's going to just go back on
44.
defense.
Rodney Hall is at the line for the Cougars.
Hall is at the free throw line. Missed it. Out of bounds, the Redbird basketball. Chicago State will go for the press. Inbounds pass to Stokes. Gets it to Roberts. Oh! Now the crowd came out with a rousing boo on that one. We'll see who the foul is on.
Foul on number 12,
Kent Terrell, his second foul, intentional foul. And now Sonny Roberts will go to the free throw line, or it'll be Ricky Jackson to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Ricky Jackson at the line, 2 shots.
And then the Redbirds will take the ball out of bounds. 66-54, 31 seconds to go. Jackson has 6 points tonight. Now all 7 and 5 of those from the free throw line. 31 seconds to go. Redbirds by 13. Here's the second one. It's good. There you see the score. Redbirds by 14.
New rule this year. Illinois State gets possession.
Redbirds have the basketball. Inbounds pass comes to Jackson. Jackson on the move, double teamed and fouled by Hall, and I believe that's 5 on Rodney Hall.
Foul on 44, Rodney Hall, his 5th. Hall fouls out.
And the junior will foul out of the ball game with 2 points. And Ricky Jackson will go to the free throw line again.
Stanley Jones replaces
He has
Hall.
made a living there tonight. Stanley Jones in the lineup for the fouled out Hall with 28 seconds to go. Redbirds by 14. Redbirds will end up with a 20-point lead before this is all over. Jackson now 7 free throws. Tommy Suits, as you see there, from Chicago State, hanging the clipboard down his side. I wonder if that's symbolic of, hey, this doesn't do me any good anymore. Jackson again scores. 8 for Ricky Jackson. Redbirds by 16, 70-54. Blocked by Sonny Roberts. The shot doesn't go. Rebound, Randy Blair. Blair on the run. Goes to Jackson. He'll bring it back out. Now to Sonny Roberts. Now to Blair. Got to keep it moving. Don't want to get trapped. Now it goes to Derek Stokes. Now to Roberts. Final score 70-64. Redbirds with a 16-point win after leading at 28-23 at halftime. Redbirds are now 2-3 on the season. Chicago State at 2-6. We'll be back for a final look at the game and look at the statistics in just a minute. You're watching their Telecable Redbird basketball.